Think about a time when you were nervous or trying to focus on something. Maybe you were sitting in on a lecture, waiting for a first date or giving a speech. Did you click your pen, sway from side to side, or crack your knuckles without really thinking about it? These small movements help your nervous system regulate. Regulates stress, anxiety, and helps you to focus. And in the autism community, this is called stimming. Stimming is a common and important self-regulation tool in the autism community that's often misunderstood. However, many people outside of the autism community use similar behaviors as self-regulation in their daily lives. I'll show you how anyone can use stimming tools to regulate anxiety, boredom, and improve your focus. First, I'll talk about what stimming is and why we do it. Then I'll talk about different stimming tools and how they provide different types of input. And third, I'll show you how anyone can use the tools, not just people with autism. Stimming is short for self-stimulatory behavior, like rocking, tapping, or fidgeting to regulate your nervous system. When someone is unregulated, their nervous system is usually overwhelmed or understimulated. Tancredi and Dor Abrahamson describe stimming as part of the thinking process. We'll talk about what happens when someone is understimulated and uses stimming tools to regulate. When someone is understimulated, they might feel restless or have a hard time focusing. They might become anxious or irritable, presenting behaviors that might be disruptive. And when a person is unregulated, their nervous system can be in survival mode. Makes it much harder to focus and communicate. I have a child with profound autism who needs intense sensory input to keep his nervous system regulated. We typically swing him on a swing before and after stressful events to help regulate his nervous system. This past October, we went out for trick-or-treating, and as we walked through the streets, he was singing, "Happy face, happy face." And as the night progressed, it got louder and louder until he was yelling to the whole neighborhood. He was singing beautifully, but I could tell that his loud verbal stimming was a sign of distress for him. I ended up carrying my 7-year-old home and giving him tight compression hugs. And by the time we were home, he was regulated. Stimming tools provide different types of sensory input to help the nervous system stay regulated, especially through touch, body pressure, and movement. Cindy Hatteras-Musin from the Autism Research Institute describes 3 of the most important sensory systems involved in regulation as the tactile, proprioceptive, and vestibular systems. So let's talk about what these systems are and what tools we can use to help regulate them. You can find a variety of tools for each respective need at therapyshop.com. And you can see on the left side in your pamphlet, there are links to each of those needs. So our tactile system is our sense of touch, like pressure, texture, and temperature. So some examples of this to help you out here would be one of these fidget sticks, like you guys have. There's also these wire fidget rings that I personally really like if I feel like I'm in a skin picking mood or like I want to pick my nails. That rough sensation on the tips of my fingers is really helpful. And then we've got mini tactile Zen strips, which I like to put on my steering wheel in the car. So I can just stick them on and then while I'm driving, just kind of rub my fingers along that. So let's move on to our proprioceptive system, which tells our body where it is in space and how much force our muscles are using. This This is why you might feel calm after a tight hug or exercising. Some tools might include weighted blankets, or there's a jacket here that you can put weights in. You can also wear compression clothing. You can fit it right under your clothes. And even just a stress ball is great. Gives your muscles that input. Our vestibular system is in charge of controlling balance and movement. So if you're someone who fidgets a lot, tapping your feet or swaying from side to side, a wiggling fidget pad could be really good just to put on the floor, wiggle your feet. They've got wiggling seats, and sensory swings aren't as accessible, but like I said earlier, you can use them before or after a stressful event, and that can help your system regulate. Stimming and stimming tools are useful for everyone, not just people with autism. So it can be especially helpful for people with ADHD, anxiety, or even students just trying to focus on school. A few scenarios might be during a long lecture or a meeting, studying, or during exams and presentations. So let me close by saying that stimming is not unusual behavior. In fact, most people don't even realize you're doing it. It's a natural way for our body to regulate itself. So when we embrace our human nature, we're more aware, empathetic, and kind to ourselves and our needs. Stimming is something that everyone does to regulate. Stimming can be done anywhere and without distracting others. I hope by exploring these tools to use for ourselves, we can become more understanding when someone might be loudly singing Happy Face on repeat. So next time you're anxiously tapping your foot or cracking your knuckles, you might think about the 7-year-old boy who can't speak, but sings Happy Face loudly to the world, and maybe it'll give you the courage to be your most authentic self.